Alright guys, coming to you from my apartment today. I ate a tuna salad last night that left me with stomach cramps on my couch pretty much all day today. Didn't do too much moving around um, other than drinking some tea, and I can take down apples. Okay, so had quite a few apples today. We got the 14.4 announcement. It's a chipper. A few pretty interesting things here we want to go through. First one is just the addition of a rower. I personally am extremely surprised to see that. I figured that the equipment potential issue, especially for international gyms where shipping can be a major hurdle, would preclude something like a rower from being used in the open. However, I do think it's a great piece of equipment, a great test to add, because it's much more of an aerobic capacity piece without the same type of tolerance for eccentric contraction that we see in some of the other open movements, right? So it's not necessarily so much just what is your specific muscle endurance for squatting or for pressing or what have you, but actually just how well can your body utilize oxygen. So I think it's great to see a test like that thrown in from a theoretical standpoint, but I do understand the potential issue in terms of an equipment standpoint. We almost certainly knew we were going to see some type of a chipper, excuse me, with muscle ups at the end. We've seen this in the open every single year, in that the muscle up needs to be tested in the open to make sure people can do it at regionals. However, you want to make the workouts accessible, so you kind of got to throw it at the end. So what this does to these muscle ups is it basically makes this workout about how well can you do muscle ups once all your fast twitch muscle fibers have been fatigued. Once you've been through a little bit of a ringer in terms of metabolic buildup, mechanical fatigue in the shoulders, all that stuff. So we've seen that every year. We knew it was coming. We've been trying to train for it, through either specific muscle up battery testing or this kind of chipper format with a high skill movement at the end. Kind of interesting in terms of someone's 30 muscle up for time score, etc. may not really have a whole lot to do with how they do on this workout, because it's much more about how do you do when you don't have your fast twitch muscle fibers, when you burn through all your creatine stores, etc., etc. So what that basically says is a lot of this workout will be how well can you move through that first piece aerobically without digging yourself a metabolic hole, and then how well do you move through muscle ups once you kind of got to that point. So pacing on this is going to be absolutely huge. Just watching the announcement show, I think Panchik made a lot of pacing mistakes. Way too hard on the row, way too big a sets on the toes to bar. You could see him hurting once he got to the wall ball, which is certainly not ideal. So in terms of pacing this, the calories are kind of interesting, since most people are rowing in meters, so they're used to, okay, I want to see a 155 split time, etc. In terms of calories per hour, which is how it paces it for most higher level male athletes, a pace of around 1,400 calories per hour is probably a decent area to be. That's moving at a good clip, but that shouldn't be killing you. For female athletes, it's going to be a little bit less, probably more like 1,900, something like that, depending on your size relative to the rower, which matters a lot as well. So 60 calories, doesn't matter. Just get it done. Don't go hard on this. Just pull, just breathe, etc. Because what's going to happen is you want to be as relaxed as possible through that row. Relax your forearms. Make sure you're not cranking on that thing. And then toes to bar, 50 in a row is a lot. A lot of you guys are probably going to come off of that and think, okay, cool, I'm just going to knock out sets at 10, etc. And even though you may be able to do that, probably going to fall apart a little bit at the end, and then that gets a little bit ugly. So what I'd recommend instead for almost everybody following the AFC program is going to be sets of 5 from the get-go. Just do 5, drop, 5, drop. You'd be surprised to see how quickly you can potentially knock out 10 sets of 5, and it might even be faster actually than trying to do 10, 10, 8, 4, etc. And you'll probably feel a lot better finishing that off. So I'd recommend 5s there. Quick drop, shake it out. 5. Quick drop, shake it out. 5. Wall ball piece. Again, this is something you can probably hang on to the ball. Do these in bigger sets if you want to. Doesn't really get you anything. I'm not terribly concerned with the tie break score for you guys. More about getting more reps on the back end. So sets of 10 is probably going to be about right, but don't get caught up in numbers on the wall ball and just go on feel. For some of you guys, the bigger guys, this movement is literally nothing. You may be able to knock it out in 2 sets. For some of you other people, shoulder endurance issues, trouble catching the ball, etc., it may be a better plan to just kind of chop it up, because it really doesn't make that big of a difference. Cleans, absolutely singles. There's a whole bunch of inane commentary on the announcement show, but I can't believe these guys are doing singles on these cleans. It's so light for them. Clearly, you're going to want to do singles on that because you have a big set of muscle-ups afterwards, which matters way more than the cleans matter. At that point, you've already been through a whole bunch of work. Doing touch-and-go power cleans at 135 is a perfect recipe to completely start spiking your sugar utilization, get pumped full of garbage, and be staggering around, right? So just do singles on that. It's not really that much slower, especially you just drop it, reset, go, drop it, reset, go. Muscle ups, for most of you guys, are where this workout matters, right? This is where it starts to actually matter. So, like I said before, this is much more a test of how well can you do muscle ups after your shoulders are shot, once all your fast twitch muscle fibers are gone. I would recommend no more than doubles for most people, right? Some of you guys who are really, really good with the muscle up can maybe try to do bigger sets, just go based upon feel, but for most people, doubles is probably going to be the best bet here. In terms of switching to singles, you just kind of know when it happens. You can feel when that eccentric isn't going to be good. When you switch to singles, something that may be relevant is actually using that false grip if you're comfortable with it. The false grip muscle up definitely eases that transition, takes some mechanical fatigue out of the shoulder, but it doesn't let you get that giant big swing kip. So if you're switching to singles and you feel good with the false grip, that may get you a few more reps just in terms of being able to quickly transition over. For you guys who are going to make it through the muscle ups, that row at the end is where all this lactate training comes in, right? Because it's how much time you're going to have, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute and a half, what have you. That's basically just crank it, just go there. You saw Bridges in the announcement video was able to do that. He was able to really, really dig deep there, mess himself up a little bit, and that's going to be reflective of the fact that he's probably done something like that in his training. So you guys know how to grind on the airdyne, on the rower for those 30-second minute bursts. You get back, you just got to go for it, turn that over. So separator here, clearly the muscle ups. I don't think the tie break time is worth thinking about because you can get yourself messed up a little bit trying to push too hard to get a tie break time. And if you start doing that, you're basically training reps on the back end for a tie break time, which I don't think is going to be a good strategy for most people. This is a workout that you're going to be able to do again. Certainly going to be some fatigue from the toes to bar, from the muscle ups, etc. But if you screw up your pacing the first time, not so much of an issue to just say, okay, cool, I went too hard here, I blew up, or I just didn't really give myself enough time because I'm walking around between reps on the clean, and you can adjust that accordingly for a redo if you are so inclined. Good luck, guys.